how would you say that your experience like helped you kind of come back into yourself in all sorts of ways?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking about it just over the last couple of days, and like so much has shifted emotionally since going through the detox. I did it for 21 days, which um, was an experience in and of itself, but it really feels like it's hard to put it into words, but it's like I have more room. I have more room in my body to experience myself, number one, instead of some weird things that exited the body, like parasites and bacteria and all kinds of stuff, which I could physically see. But I just feel like I was like so, just like not there. I was feeling so dead to the world, before I started this. And I just feel like I have more capacity, not only for, the things that I do for work, but also for gratitude. Like I was just reflecting on the gratitude that I was feeling. And it's just so much more powerful. Like I'm feeling the positive emotions so much more powerfully now than before the detox. So,
Have experienced.
oh yeah. I mean, I have similar story. Like I've been on this journey of trying to heal my body and figure out what's wrong with me for like 16 years. And so since I was 18, I started having all these digestive issues, and I did the conventional thing for a long time and then realized like I woke up to that. I was like, this is not helping me. And then for probably about the last 6 years, I have done a lot of like detoxing and parasite cleansing, a lot of parasite cleansing, like a straight year and a half of parasite cleansing. And I just, excuse me, I felt like garbage the whole time and started developing new symptoms that were die-off related, but my drainage pathways weren't fully open and it was causing new symptoms. And so when I found this, it was like, yeah, the mucoid plaque was a huge piece of it. That was an aha moment. But then after the first liver cleanse, I was like, because the first 7 days, my body was like, what are we doing? And then after like after the first liver flush, it was like, whoa, okay, I feel good. I feel like a major turning point has happened in my cleansing process. So that was cool to see. I would say that. And then after the second liver flush, the same kind of thing happened. And then also, I'm glad I took pictures of myself because seeing myself before I started and then after, which is what I posted in the group, like that was when the tears really started to come, because when you see yourself in the mirror every day, it's like you don't really notice what's happening. And then seeing it for myself, I was just like, wow, like the life is back in my face and my eyes. So that was really cool to see. It was really emotional actually. So yeah. Yeah, I mean you can see it in the pictures if you want to like cut the picture and hear the before and after, but like inflammation was huge. I think I lost like 8 or 9 pounds in waist and inflammation. Like I think it was all just inflammation. Like I wasn't going into this trying to lose weight. But like you could clearly see it in my face. Like the inflammation was huge. And then also like the under eye circles. And I was having like a breakout when I started detoxing. So my skin feels much clearer. And I just like I see a difference in my eyes. It just feels like there's more spirit, like life behind my eyes. So yeah, but definitely I would say physically it was pretty drastic. I have a housemate and he was like, you just like, what is going on? He's like, you look different. He's like, normally I can't even know, I don't even notice when like people lose weight or gain weight. He's like, I just don't notice, but it's so drastic. Like within the first week, I think I had lost the most weight, and inflammation. And so, yeah, it was pretty drastic.
I think I lost like 7 pounds as well. And for me, I was just like, I didn't even know I had that much weight to lose. Like I
Yeah.
genuinely didn't know. And Daniel always says that the colon and the whole intestinal tract can store up to 50 kilos of toxic waste. And my dad, of course, being the skeptic that he is, he goes, "Oh no, that's not true. That could be like half someone's body weight." I'm like, I mean,
Wow.
you never know. You never know. I've done almost 12 of these intestinal cleanses, and each time I've gotten an enormous amount of plaque out, and I'm like, how is there still more? How? I don't understand. But it really just
Mhm.
goes back to show you like how toxic our bodies can be and how
Yeah.
long it can take for it to feel comfortable to release those things and how comfortable it can feel to kind of come back into those types of balances and how much different this is than any other style of cleansing. Have you
Yeah.
done any other styles of cleansing and how would you like compare that?
Yeah. The most recent was like the parasite cleansing. So I have done like a I don't know if you want me to name the name of it, but it's cell core. So I did a lot of cell core. I was working with like a naturopathic doctor, and I feel like the first year it was all cleansing or it was all parasite cleansing. And then at some point, like, something in my body was like, hey, you need to stop this. So then I moved to an Ayurvedic practitioner, and he put me on this other protocol. I went like another 6 months of parasite cleansing, and like I didn't I didn't feel any better. I just didn't. I was doing the enemas, I was doing all the things, the sauna, but I just wasn't feeling better. Like my energy was still low. I wasn't really able to work. Um, so yeah, that's probably the extent. I've never done like fasting or anything like that, but I have done a lot of like herbal detox, parasite cleansing type stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, this
it's
is way different. This is way different. I also,
yeah.
because like I had a lot of fear, something that is really important in my journey is like I had a lot of like medical trauma and like fear associated with my body and the things that happens in my body. My dad got diabetes, type 1 diabetes when I was pretty young, like 8 or 9. And so I had a lot of fear that whatever was happening in my body was serious and that I was going to die. Um, and this, like, it took me a while to get to the point where I would have trusted myself to go into a detox without having like working directly one-on-one with a practitioner. But this, this was and also like having the support of the Telegram group, I was able to like sink into the experience a little bit deeper and find more trust within my body and like its innate capacity to heal, that I've never experienced before. So that was a really beautiful thing. Like finally trusting myself, like no wonder I also wasn't making much headway is because I was so scared of everything that would pop up and like was in that old paradigm of like,
Another
oh
style of
no,
cleansing. Have you
yeah.
done any other styles of cleansing, and how would you like compare that?
Yeah, the most recent was like the parasite cleansing. So I have done like a I don't know if you want me to name the name of it, but it's cell core. So I did a lot of cell core. I was working with like a naturopathic doctor, and I feel like the first year it was all cleansing or it was all parasite cleansing. And then at some point, like, something in my body was like, hey, you need to stop this. So then I moved to an Ayurvedic practitioner, and he put me on this other protocol. I went like another 6 months of parasite cleansing, and like I didn't I didn't feel any better. I just didn't. I was doing the enemas, I was doing all the things, the sauna, but I just wasn't feeling better. Like my energy was still low. I wasn't really able to work. Um, so yeah, that's probably the extent. I've never done like fasting or anything like that, but I have done a lot of like herbal detox, parasite cleansing type stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but yeah, this
it's
is way different. This is way different. I also,
yeah.
because like I had a lot of fear, something that is really important in my journey is like I had a lot of like medical trauma and like fear associated with my body and the things that happens in my body. My dad got diabetes, type 1 diabetes when I was pretty young, like 8 or 9. And so I had a lot of fear that whatever was happening in my body was serious and that I was going to die. Um, and this, like, it took me a while to get to the point where I would have trusted myself to go into a detox without having like working directly one-on-one with a practitioner. But this, this was and also like having the support of the Telegram group, I was able to like sink into the experience a little bit deeper and find more trust within my body and like its innate capacity to heal, that I've never experienced before. So that was a really beautiful thing. Like finally trusting myself, like no wonder I also wasn't making much headway is because I was so scared of everything that would pop up and like was in that old paradigm of like, oh no, I have a rash. Like what kind of cream do I need? It's like, no, it's good. It's safe. Like the body's releasing. It's a good thing,
Feeling.
So yeah, the first full days I did fully fasted, which was really intense and difficult, like very intense. Um, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. It's like I've been through so many challenging things with my health. It was almost like I wanted to honor my body and move through this process gracefully, but I also knew like I need to give this a shot completely. So yeah, in those moments of like being super hungry, I would just sit with myself, and sometimes I would just lay down and be like, okay, I can't sleep, but I'm just gonna lay here and just like feel what's going on in my body. Like meditation, or maybe I'd go for a walk just to like keep it active. But I did after 4 days, I had checked in with Alex, and she's like, you probably have like a lot of adrenal fatigue, which makes a lot of sense. I was completely burned out kind of before starting this. And so what was nice about the cleanse was I was able to really easily add in like some cooked veggies or like some juices and soups while I still, I was still sitting with the feeling because I was still very hungry the whole time, but it was just like giving my body that little bit of nourishment and giving it love and just meeting it where it was at. So I loved that I was able to, um, yeah, just like move through this gracefully and not have to be so strict, Because that's the other side of the coin is like I've been so strict and like hard on myself if I didn't do something completely perfect. So I love that the enzymes kind of allow, like it's still working, even if I, drink a juice or eat some soup.
But
Yeah, no, I was definitely not gonna quit. I was in it. There was a couple of times where I was like, because I was working pretty much the whole time through it. Sometimes having to travel, like I commute an hour to my job. And so there were some times where I had to pull over on the side of the road, like multiple times. Um, but I was like, this is just par for the course. It just is what it is. And luckily everybody at work was understanding of where I was at. So that was helpful. But no, I was in it. I was planning on like I was just gonna power through whatever came up and adapt within the protocol, as needed. But
cleansing.
yeah.
What would you say inspired you the most about your journey through 21 days?
Hmm. Well, like relating to what you were just saying, like I have been on all sides of the spectrum where I just completely abandoned all physical treatments and kind of went into like the emotional side of it. Um, yeah, and so it was like really, I was able, and I have been doing this work like somatic tracking and really like turning into the discomfort because, a lot of the times our physical manifestations are just emotions that have been so suppressed and they're trying to exit, through this physical sensation or this physical ailment. And so I felt like I was able to like really into that a lot easier. I was able to kind of like I think of my body as like a little kid, so it was almost like I was able to get on its level. Like when it was crying out, I felt like I was really able to drop in with it and just like be with it, So a lot released emotionally, so much, not just physically. It was like an emotional reset as well. So that was a really profound part of the cleanse for me was just like being in a space like when you're empty like that, like one sleeps so much better. So I had the capacity to actually look at these things that were coming up and really sit with them. But I would say, yeah, it was pretty profound, like the ability I had to sit with these emotions and bodily sensations as they were coming up.
Themselves. So what do you do to create a better self and a better world?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm so at this point in my life, I'm so dedicated to my own inner work, and so that's one piece of it. But I've been on this journey of healing for so long again, like you. It tried so many different modalities. Like thought functional medicine was the thing, and like so many dogmatic practices that I thought were going to be the thing. And I knew that this journey of healing spanning over a decade like was leading me to be of service in some way, but I never really felt like I was like, I don't know enough. I never really like fully resonated with the practices and certain modalities. And so yeah, like this was kind of a test for myself, an experiment. I wanted to really move through this process on my own. But I'm like inspired. Like Alex is actually doing a 20 or a practitioner course in March. So I'm like 100% in. Like I want to be able to bring this to other people. And like the main thing for me is like I want to teach people to trust their own bodies and to understand that there's nothing outside. Like the enzymes, they're outside of you, but that's great. But it's not the enzymes healing you. It's really yourself healing you and your body just having the right conditions to do that. So yeah, like that's my ultimate goal in life is just to empower people to understand that like they got this. Everything's fine. It's all perfect.